Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday to you. It is Friday the 13th. What does that mean? Let's talk about it, as well as a great topic and lots of goodness here for you on an all new episode of Project Joy Live. Let's do it right now. Happy Friday, everybody. It is Friday, September 13th, 2024. Yes, it's Friday the 13th. What do you guys think about that today? Anybody get a little superstitious on Friday the 13th? Let me know. Or is that like an outdated thing that are we not doing this anymore? Saw the funniest post last night about leaving your milk and cookies out for Jason. So funny. Everybody's got humor. Hope you guys are starting out to have a great day and are looking forward to a wonderful weekend. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and this is Project Joy Live. It's your triple shot of good vibes every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at this 9 a.m. Eastern time hour. We have a great show for you today, and I want to talk about it and check in with you guys in the morning brew. Let me know what's giving you guys joy today, and we'll talk about it right now. Are we awake yet? Clearly, my buttons are not awake yet. I see that my internet's cutting up a little bit, so I apologize ahead of time. What is going on today? You know what? Let me shut the Wi-Fi off on my phone, and maybe that'll help too. We're not going to do it. We're not giving in to whatever is happening today. Let's check out over in the comments this morning. Miss Brittany is here. Happy Friday. Nancy said it's lucky Friday the 13th. I love that. Have you always felt that way about Friday the 13th, or did you come to believe that? Let me know. Yes, luck. Okay, Rhonda's with a lucky too. I love it. Good morning. Yes, good morning. Good to see you. And I love that you guys are twisting it in that way. I think like anything, you can believe anything you want about anything and put whatever meaning you want onto anything. And we can do that with things that even other people deem as wicked or whatever. You can twist it the way that you want, and I think that that's valuable. It's a valuable quality to have. We have a great show for you today. I'm going to talk about national days, and then we're going to tie that into our conversation in the daily uplift today, where we're going to be talking about strongholds. This is a very important conversation to have today, and I will say this: if you are not prepared this morning to kick your own rear end, you may just want to come back. You may want to come back to this episode. No, but this is going to be one where we really have to recognize our role and our choices and things. And so I want you to stick around with us today, and we'll work through it together. We'll work through it together as we talk about strongholds. We're going to talk about what's happening for the weekend. I have some exciting things coming up, and lots of goodness happening. Let's see. Brittany said, I was born on the 13th, so I always felt it was lucky too. There you go. It has always been lucky for me. I have walked into others' thoughts of bad luck and had it return and affect me. Yeah, just don't play into other people's games. Don't play into that. So I'm excited today because this weekend's going to be great. First of all, tomorrow evening, I'm going with my husband to see a band called The Machine, which is a Pink Floyd tribute. And so I'm really excited to go to that with him tomorrow night at the Guard Arts Theater here in New London, Connecticut. And then on Sunday, I am going to check out an event called Boobification. Yes, you heard that correctly. Boobification is taking place in Woonsocket, Rhode Island. And the reason I'm going, let me start with the reason I'm going. The reason I am going is because our friend here on the Breakthrough Show Network, Nicola Vasquez, is playing for this event. So I'm going to see another amazing guest in person, which is super fun for me because so many of the people, the vast majority of the people that I've met through the Breakthrough Show Network that we've had on the show, I've not had the opportunity to meet in person. So I'm really excited to get to see Nicola on Sunday. And I think we're going to do dinner and stuff afterwards. At least we're going to try. Timing might be a little bit off, but we're going to give it a whirl. And so I'm excited about that. But boobification, I want to tell you really quickly about that. Woonsocket, Rhode Island, that's where it's taking place. And it's a breast cancer awareness sort of event, but they do it is put on, I think, by this tattoo parlor that does tattoos and things for breast cancer survivors. And so this event is all about pampering people who are breast cancer survivors. So I really love that because I think there are a lot of events and things out there that are just awareness sort of events, but this one, I really feel like they're doing something big and amazing, which is to treat our breast cancer survivors like princesses for the day, which are queens for the day, which will be amazing. I know they're doing like henna and care packages and lots of amazing things like that. So shout out to the boobification. Make sure you guys, if you're able to attend, it's happening Sunday afternoon. Again, Woonsocket, Rhode Island. You can look it up on Facebook and all of the information is there. I actually don't have a whole lot of information. I saw Nicola was performing. It's like within an hour of my house. So I was like, it's happening. So I'm excited that I get to see her on Sunday, and it's going to be a great event for a great cause, which is always important to me as well. Yes, it is a jam-packed, fun weekend, and I'm excited for it. Miss Mandy's here this morning. Good morning, grand rising to you. Happy Friday, everybody. I want to get into it now. It's time to celebrate today. Let's talk about our national holidays. A great reason to celebrate. I'm trying to get my smoothie down, you guys. Okay. So, in the world of national days today, there's some good stuff happening today. First of all, it's National Peanut Day. I know there's a lot of people out there with peanut allergies. Let me know if you guys have a peanut allergy, but National Peanut Day pays homage to mighty and tasty peanut. We may drive you nuts after we share some compressed information about peanuts, likely originating in South America around 3,500 years ago. This legume is not a nut. They grow underground like potatoes. Since they are an edible seed that forms in a pod, they belong to the family of Leguminosae with peas and beans. When it comes to plants packing protein power, peanuts provide a whopping 8 grams per ounce, more than any other nut, according to the Peanut Institute. And remember, it is not a nut. Nuts grow on trees. So this is a legume. It's a bean. The peanut is also high in antioxidants. There not only are peanuts high in vitamin E and B6, but they are rich in minerals such as magnesium, iron, and zinc. Studies also show when paired with other nutrient-rich foods, this wonderful legume helps us absorb nutrients better too. So when you eat peanuts, it helps you to absorb other nutrients better as well. And so it's really interesting. There's lots of great history about the peanuts. So go check that out over at nationaldaycalendar.com. You can go learn more about this National Peanut Day. I have 8 million pop-ups happening on this computer right now. It's also National Bald is Beautiful Day. Anybody else agree with that? Being bald brings beauty all on its own. There's so much. This ties into actually a conversation that we're going to have coming up this morning about strongholds, but there's a lot of people that put a lot of their own stronghold into hair. And so National Bald is Beautiful Day reminds us that not only does baldness come in many forms, but it comes with some convenience. For men especially, the cost of hair products and haircuts is reduced. Additionally, reducing grooming time for men who find no more hair must be a relief. However, hair loss can be both stressful for men and women. women, whether the cause is due to illness, medication, family heritage, or age. Most people hope to keep their hair for as long as possible. Let me know if hair is a stronghold for you. But today reminds us that bald is beautiful in so many ways. Going bald, we shed our vanity regarding our hair. Baldness is a vulnerability. Those who have hair loss of any kind know this feeling. Facing it head on, taking off what once might have been a mantle of glory takes courage. So if you're dealing with hair loss, I would encourage you today to just maybe lean in and know that you're beautiful the way that you are. That's what we're learning today here on Project Joy Life. It's also, I don't know about this. Moms, where are you? Where are you this morning? I don't know about this one. It's National Kids Take Over the Kitchen Day. Now, I will say this. My kids are usually really good in the kitchen. You all know that Nina cooks. She's the barista for my morning coffee and smoothies. She does dinner a lot in the house. And so for them, but I think everybody can stand to do a little bit better when it comes to tidying up in the kitchen. It's like the gift that keeps on giving, everybody. Okay. It's a gift that keeps on giving. But on this day, we are bringing the youngest cooks into the kitchen. We can't promise that there will be a gourmet meal, but we can promise that the memories you make will be priceless. That's something that I'm pretty passionate about. My kids enjoy the kitchen because I've gotten in there with them from day one. And that was like that when I was growing up too. I was always in the kitchen with my mom, my grandma, my great grandma. And it's just this beautiful sort of tradition that's passed down. And so I highly recommend that for all of you parents out there. If you haven't gotten in the kitchen with your kids, like really getting in there, all of you together, everybody gets a job cooking a meal. I understand the stress, but it's so good for everybody. So highly recommend that today. It's also Uncle Sam Day. Uncle Sam Day recognizes, commemorates Sam Wilson, the man behind the iconic and fascinating nickname for the United States government, who was born on September 13th, 1766. He was a meat packer from New York, and it's interesting how people um, get their nicknames and how they become different icons, which again will tie into our topic that we're talking about today. So happy Uncle Sam Day. It's also National Celiac Disease Awareness Day, which I find terribly ironic that now I am eating gluten-free, not because of celiac, but that is something that we come to know as an issue with celiac disease. This disease, it's an autoimmune disease that affects 3 million people. They have to avoid gluten due to the immune response that damages the villi in the small intestine. And over time, the damage prevents the absorption of nutrients into the body, such as wheat, barley, rye, and even some oat products containing gluten. The destruction is irreversible, and the only known treatment is a carefully controlled diet. And it is a challenge, my friends. And in addition, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's wheat in a lot of things that there does not need to be wheat in. Look at your ingredients on some of your skincare, your hair care, things like that, because some of the issues you may be having could be coming from wheat and you don't even know it because you don't even think there could be wheat in some things. It's wild to me. Ever since we embarked on this plant-based lifestyle, it's very interesting to dive into the nutrient labels on things. You just don't realize what's in things. For example, why does there need to be milk in salt and vinegar chips? Why does there need to be red 40 in chocolate pudding? Just ask yourself these questions, and I encourage you to go down the rabbit hole with it today. On the opposite side of that, it is in fact Positive Thinking Day. It's a day to promote the power of positivity and the impact this simple act can have on your life. And it's important. It's important that it's a practice, right? Um to have an optimistic outlook on life. It's about choosing to focus on the positive things that empower us despite our circumstances. A positive thinker doesn't ignore negative aspects of their life. Instead, they maintain a hopeful attitude to get them through the disruption. So think positive today. It's very important. Finally, if you can't think positive, you can't do a lot of other these things. It is also National Blame Someone Else Day. National Blame Someone Else Day uses superstition upon our mistakes onto other reason, and it is always celebrated on the first Friday, the 13th of the year. Blame it on the retrograde. Blame moon. Blame it on Friday the 13th. If you can't, I love how we do this. If we can't take it on ourselves, we're quick to point the finger at someone or something else. And I think that this also is going to tie beautifully into our topic that we're going to talk about today. While considering how to spend this Friday the 13th freebie, plan accordingly. We all run into a little bad luck from time to time. Occasionally, a flat tire or an alarm clock sets our day on another course. At other times, someone placed in our path causes a malfunction in our day. It may be someone we know, or it could be a complete stranger. Either way, casting blame comes in all forms. A coworker, our child, a spouse. We've all been known to throw them under the bus when we need a scapegoat, or perhaps they do own the blame for our lateness, stained clothing, or dented car. But what about our bad behavior? A short temper that explodes in the boss's office, or a shortcut we take when we run short on time? Who's really to blame? Well, on this occasion, this day, someone else is to blame just this once. In terms of an excuse, we can blame another. We can blame the dog, the weather, the mechanic, whatever you want to blame. But I recommend actually not doing that today, taking ownership and joining us for our conversation that we will be having here in a moment. I'm going to scroll up here just a moment. Yes, Friday the 13th. We've been talking about that. Nancy loves some peanuts and peanut butter. Good morning, Teresa. Good to see you. Nancy said, now I do like a shiny bald head on a guy. We learn new things about you every day, Nancy. That's it. I find most men sexy who have a bald head. So see, it didn't even know. Didn't even know. Um, I love that. You didn't know it was a gluten-free day. It is a gluten-free day. Absolutely. And it is crazy where wheat can show up and animal bones and there's so many things in food, you guys, that we don't even realize. Okay. Like why? Why exactly? Now I'm craving some organic peanut butter on gluten-free toast. Blame it on the rain. Yeah, yeah. We could sing that one. Listen, could sing it all day. Nancy, I am celebrating with peanut butter granola and strawberries for lunch. I'm gonna have gluten-free pita bread pizza. Love that. As a professional scapegoat, you can blame me. I'll blame me all day. No, we're not gonna do that, Teresa. All of that being said, let's move on to the daily uplift because we have to talk about our topic today. Your strongholds are blocking your joy. It's time to give ourselves that little kick in the rear end that we need today. Here we go. All right, you guys. Me on Project Joy Live today. And today's topic is one that I feel is so important for us all to reflect on. Your strongholds are blocking your joy. Now, when I say stronghold, what does that mean? In a traditional sense, a stronghold is defined as a place that has been fortified so as to protect it against attack. Sounds like a good thing, right? It's a place of defense, of protection, something built to keep people or things out. But here's the challenge. When we start creating metaphorical strongholds in our lives, things that we cling to so tightly, often out of fear or habit, those strongholds can end up blocking us from experiencing the full flow of joy in our lives. We create these strongholds around things, around people, around beliefs, food, diagnoses, political candidates, icons, heroes. And let's talk about food for a moment. Okay, we're going to start break things down a little bit as we talk. We make food a comfort stronghold. We cling to it when we're stressed or when things feel uncertain. It becomes our emotional shield. But instead of serving us, it can hold us back from experiencing joy in its truest form, the kind that comes from within, not from a plate or a craving or a tradition or because that's how Granny always did it. how I can't even tell you how many times I've said that. And I'll give you a very real example of this. So I shared with you guys that I'm having to eat gluten-free. And I've done really well for about a week now. I haven't had anything. And then yesterday we had a pop-up vegan restaurant that came here in Groton, Connecticut, and we were going to stop by, and they had some gluten-free things, but it was very minimal. And those of you that have to be gluten-free or on any special diet, you know how challenging it can be to eat out. When you go out, if there is an option, there's very few. And so I was like, you know what? I'll just have one sandwich. It's not going to be that big of a deal. But it was. I ate the sandwich and I was so sick afterwards. Like I was so d- I was in pain. It was not a good situation. And I felt it like literally within the hour. And so I knew that um I had been doing the right thing, cutting out the gluten. Then came the issue. I had an entire meltdown. Sat here literally crying last night because there are so many strongholds that I have with food. We think now, okay, how can we possibly celebrate XYZ because we can't eat ABC? You know what I mean? Like we have these ideas, these expectations, these strongholds, these beliefs that hold us that the only way that we can participate in something is to do it the way it's always been done. But if those the ways that it's always been done have been hurting us, then we have to switch to something different. And it doesn't mean we can't celebrate. Why do we convince ourselves of these things? So that was my very real moment that I had with food last night, is kind of just spiraling down and going like, things can't be the same. And then I snapped myself out of it and was like, that's ridiculous, Jessica, right? So what about our diagnoses? Now, I'm not saying to disregard health challenges or struggles. I have been there since I was very young with different health issues. But when we allow a diagnosis to define our identity, it becomes a stronghold, a wall we build around ourselves. It can begin to dictate what we believe is possible for us. We get stuck in this is who I am because of this mindset, and we unknowingly block out joy because we've made our diagnosis bigger than our own existence. We do the same thing with diagnoses that we do with food. And again, it's not to minimize anybody's experience. It's not to say, okay, when something happens with you with health, it doesn't mean your life's not going to change a little bit, but your life is not over unless you are choosing for it to be over, or unless it's just your time, right? Like it's not, there's so much that you're still capable of. Think about political candidates or cultural icons, boys and girls. How often do we place our joy and hopes in them? When they succeed, we feel joy. When they fail or fall, it feels like our joy crumbles with them. But when we attach our joy to something external like that, we lose sight of the reality that joy is within us. It doesn't depend on who's in office or which celebrity is rising or falling. My friends, I saw I saw a post Wednesday morning. By the way, if you didn't see Wednesday's episode of Project Joy Live with myself and Olivia Ambani, you need to go back because it was a golden gem, that entire episode. But I woke up Wednesday morning. As we know, Tuesday was debate here in the United States, and there has been memes and chatter ever since. And one of the posts that I saw was about uh not being friends with people anymore once you know who they vote for. And imagine having someone that you've been friends with your whole life, and they brought you so much value, such a big part of your life, brought you such an immense amount of joy. And then you find out that they're voting for someone different than you, and you're just going to cut all of that out immediately for no other reason other than that. That is such I can't even wrap my head around that. I can't even wrap my head around that. To consciously say, I'm going to cut this whole piece of joy out of my life because of someone's who they like or who they believe in or whatever. It's absurd to me. Absolutely absurd. So we have to think about that. What are we cutting out because of these strongholds that we have? We also make strongholds out of heroes and people we admire. We put them on a pedestal, believing if they're doing well, if they're making us proud, that's where our joy is. How many of us have ever said our joy is there when the kids are doing really well? When they're getting good grades, when they're doing good things, that says something about us. We put our joy in that place. It's not about that. You're making it outside of yourself. When they disappoint us, when our life shifts, suddenly our joy feels distant. It feels out of reach. But here's the truth. Placing our joy outside of ourselves is always risky because then we lose control of the source of our happiness. Joy is not meant to be situational. It's not something you dip into when things are going right or when everything is perfect. Joy is a constant. It's a deep well inside of you that you can tap into no matter what is happening in the external world. But when we build these strongholds around things, diagnoses, beliefs, or people, we block ourselves from tapping into that well. We trap our joy behind walls that we built ourselves. Let me say that again really quick. We trap our joy behind walls that we have built ourselves. The real question is, are these strongholds serving you, or are they keeping you in a cycle of limitation and disconnection from your true joy? Where have you placed your joy outside of yourself? I invite everybody for a moment to just reflect. Are you waiting on something or someone to act or change before you allow yourself to feel joyful? If so, you have essentially made that person, that thing, that circumstance a stronghold. Joy is you. It's not outside of you, waiting to be unlocked by someone else's actions, by the state of the world, by the circumstances beyond your control. Joy is a choice, and it's one that is available to you in every single moment, whether or not you choose to see it. So today, I challenge you to evaluate your own life. Where have you created these metaphorical strongholds? What are you holding on to that is blocking your joy? Are you tying your happiness to external circumstances, people, or beliefs? And if so, how can you begin to tap back into yourself as the source of joy? Joy is not a distant goal. It's a constant, unwavering part of who you are. I invite you today to break down these strongholds and embrace the joy that has been there all along. Embrace the joy that has been there all along. We'll be right back after this.
On April 4th, I was 90 years old, grandson of slaves. My parents were first generation free. A long time ago, I embraced the definition of love. Love is the experience of well-being. And a friend is one who mutually shares that experience of well-being with you, which opens up almost infinite creative possibilities.
Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing. Healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every day for exclusive programming, special events, and a community to call home, where we invite you to explore, change the way you look at and live your life, and go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com. Welcome back to Project Joy Live. Quick question for you guys. Y'all okay out there? Y'all okay? Was the last segment too much? Was it too much? Because once we got done talking about national days today, everybody got real quiet. Everybody got real quiet. So let me know if how the conversation about strongholds has affected you today, if it has changed your way of thinking at all, or if it has allowed you to go right down the rabbit hole like I did when I was talking about it. So I brought it for you guys here today. I hope at minimum it has allowed you to understand that joy does come from within. The joy is you. And the more we get out of the placing our joy outside of ourselves, the more we can live with more joy, the more that we can have more happiness and peace and love, and those yummy things that are nice to be in the midst of. All of that being said, let's go into our birthdays today, because it's always a great day to celebrate.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to all those that are celebrating. Yes. Let's see. So Nancy said lots of thoughts to contemplate today. Jeannie said, bold of you to assume. I'm thinking you'll have to explain yourself, Jeannie, afterwards, because I don't have the strength this morning. In our birthdays today, Tyler Perry, in the world of celebrity, by the way, Tyler Perry, 55 years old today. I love some of his films, and the Medea character is wild. She's so funny. Roald Dahl, author who passed away in 1990, had a birthday today. I used to love James and the Giant Peach and stories like that. Fiona Apple, singer, 47 years old. Fun fact, her song Criminal is my go-to karaoke song. So love some Fiona Apple. Ben Savage, actor that you might remember from Boy Meets World. He's in politics now. He actually does not act anymore. He's in politics, and it's very interesting to kind of watch his journey. He's 44 years old today. And Milton Hershey, that passed away in 1945. He was the entrepreneur behind the Hershey chocolate. So happy birthday to him. Yesterday and today, we have some people that we love that had birthdays. William Planche, that we love so much, had a birthday yesterday. Happy birthday. And also Troy Aiken. Love you guys so much. Hope you had an amazing birthday. Today, our own Bex Marie from Spirit Sessions has a birthday. Happy birthday, Bex. And Nicole Smith, my cousin, has a birthday today as well. So I hope you guys are set up to have an amazing day. And with that, let's get our birthday song on. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tyler, Roald Dahl, Fiona, Ben, Milton, William, Troy, Bex, and Nicole. Happy birthday to you. happy birthday to all those that are celebrating today. I hope you have an amazing day and continue to allow yourself to celebrate. Continue to do that. We have a great day for you today. So, coming up after this show, we have our virtual co-working Pomodoro happening at 9:55. Bring you in your to-do list. Check in at 9:55. We work from 10 to 12 today for 25-minute segments of virtual co-working. And it's going to be great to get some things done. Coming up tomorrow, we have our Soul Saturday morning coffee happening at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, as we do every Saturday. I invite you to join us if you enjoy intimate conversation, connection, friendship, crying, all of those things. I invite you to join us. It's going to be a great day, and I will be back next week. We have Project Joy Live Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm going to be joined by a very, very, very special guest on Monday, you guys, on Project Joy. I'm not going to tell you who it is. I'm actually going to keep this one a surprise. So get ready for that. We have our community meditation next Monday. We have virtual co-working Monday and Friday. We have craft circle on Wednesday. What else do we have going on? Lots of goodness happening. So I encourage you to go to the breakthroughshow.network.com or the breakthroughshownetwork.club. Check out our calendar there. Jump in and be involved wherever you can. We appreciate you and love your participation so much. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas. I want to invite you and remind you to know that the joy comes from within. Make joy a priority in your life today and every day. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
I've been lifting myself up, yeah, I've been climbing.